What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm and Farming Simulator 15. So, we're back here in Old Ridge after a couple of days on Court Farms. Still some more work to be done down there, but I'm alternating back and forth, obviously. It's only about an hour commute, so it's worth it for me to come back after a day's work there and take care of this farm. Obviously, this farm being my main priority, even though the bank is paying me to sort of finish off the last of the work over on that farm. You can see over here, if I bring my HUD back up, it's 5:39 in the morning, another early day. We were at court pretty, not too late last night, about 5 o'clock. By the time we, got everything done and parked up and got in the trucks and drove back and stopped a couple times on the way because I can't drive for very long without stopping. So it was about 7:30 by the time we got back. Went to bed about 9. So, got up about 4. So it's been a fairly early day. I've got the JCB, my telehandler over here warming up. I've got to feed animals. I've got a lot of animals that need to be fed. I also have animals that need to be mucked out. I have grain that needs to be sold, and I have corn that needs taken a look at to see if it needs anything sprayed on it. So it's going to be a fairly busy day today. So let me go ahead and turn this on, jump inside this once I find the right camera. Turn off the brake. That would be helpful. Thought I sprayed weed killer over here. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I have to do that again, I guess, and see how that works out. But yeah, all my animals need to be fed. The dairy cows, the breeding, the pig and beef, and the sheep all need to be fed. So, going to be a busy day today, I believe. I don't want that camera. That camera makes me slightly seasick. Let's see. Can I just pick up one if I enable auto load here? You can see my straw stack is still a pile, but okay, it's not taking very long to go through it, certainly, so just want one. Can I just have one? Just one bale. One bale. Thank you. Sometimes it's a little tricky to just pick up one automatically, but you can do it if you're careful. Luckily, this thing has a pretty good tolerance, of where it wants to pick bales up, so let me get one hay bale. One hay bale. Come on. There we go. Very good. That'll just leave a silage bale. I also need to put straw in the dairy cows as well, obviously. They're out of that too, so. Oh, I've got this milk canister here that I dropped and then kind of rage quit on and didn't want to pick it up. They are a little bit fussy, to say the least. So. Yes, ladies, the food is coming. You may see that we have 99 cows now, so obviously the rearing pens the calf rearing pens are doing their thing, doing what they're supposed to do. So that's pretty cool. Those are going to need to be refilled too. But I just filled up my Milk Max machines, so I don't have any more. Milk at the moment. So those will probably have to wait for a day till I have more milk. So wanted to get the Milk Max machines running. They're expensive, and just letting them sit there, not making any money, is not really worth it. So. Going to be going to take the test in a couple of days. Kylie is getting to where she's almost done with all of her sort of full course work. Apparently she's been doing very well from what Mike's been saying. So hopefully I can do as well. I'm sure she'll probably do better than me in the long run. I have to disable this for this. But the fact is that she's never driven an HTV vehicle where I have. So I have a little bit of an advantage as I pick up the entire trailer. And I've driven one in the UK too. So, hopefully everything will go smooth with the test and with the road test and everything. So, you just know they're going to make me drive through a roundabout. You just know they are. Something I tend to struggle with sometimes, but I'm sure when it comes right down to it, when it comes down to, well, I need this license, so I'm sure I'm not going to screw it up. I think what I'll do now is, before I put the mixed rations in, I'll grab some straw bales and get the bedding down. Turn that back on because I'll probably need 4 or 5 of them. It takes no time at all to go through a whole bunch of stuff, huh? I hope I don't run out of straw again over the winter. I really hope I don't. I guess we will find out. It just seems like I can never get enough, I pretty much, with the size of this herd now, I pretty much need to be really concentrating on just grains, for crops. So barley and wheat probably. Obviously, barley does very well around here. You know, wheat. Again, wheat is one of those crops that you just have to have, you know, thousands of acres of to really make it worth it. Unlock those, jump out, get them shredded up. Probably put 6 bales in here, maybe, I guess. I will say, you know, I'm not usually a fan of these HUDs, you know, these status HUDs that tell you, what's going on with certain aspects of your farm. But I do kind of like this one, just because it lets me know, you know, how my animals are doing. And with this animal values mod, they go through a lot more stuff. Even though I didn't tweak the values at all, you can certainly go in the Lua file and set it to whatever you want. I didn't change anything, but I think they're set higher by default with that mod. So, you know, that's fine though. You know, it might be a little bit more in line with reality, perhaps. You know, one reason why you have to have so many bales of everything, you know, why you have to have so much silage and everything to get through a winter, so. I had a talk with Ian Blake. As you guys know, Ian Blake's the guy who bought my my old Ford TW10, you know, and he's a good friend of mine. He's got a field not too far from here that's, I guess, been in his family for quite a while. And it's got alfalfa on it, apparently. Apparently they planted alfalfa on it as a test crop, I guess. And then, I guess, I don't know if they forgot about it or just decided they didn't want it, or, you know, it wasn't what they were looking for or whatever. How much straw is that? 16,000? Yeah, you know what? That's enough straw for the moment, I think. So let me jump back in this and get it out of the way. And he said that if I can get somebody to come down and cut it, I could certainly have it, and it might make, you know, it might make halfway decent fodder. So I just need to see if I can get somebody to come down and cut it. It would be ideal if I get somebody to come down and cut it while we were doing the corn. You know, if I could get that sort of all in a package, that would be awesome. One thing I need to grab is a couple of hay bales to bring to the sheep, because the sheep are out of food as well. So, okay. He also said he was interested in buying about 65 tons of my potatoes. Maybe what I'll do is I'll trade him some, you know, I'll say, well, you know, you let me have that alfalfa off that field, so I'll give you, you know, 30 tons of potatoes, and then I'll give you the other 30 at a, you know, at a reasonable price or whatever. That might be fair, I think. We'll have to talk about that and figure it out. So, all right, let me get my hungry cows fed here, and then we can make some more mixed rations. And, oh, you know what? I should have done that first, right? I put those grass bales on the forks, and what I really wanted to do was make more mixed rations. So, okay, well, we'll do that first then. For my beef cattle and my pigs. About 5,000 on each side should be enough, I think. Now I just got to switch the tip side and get a little closer to it. Otherwise it'll yell at me and tell me it's too far away. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so I guess we'll just make more mixed rations now. For my pigs and my beef cattle. Now, of course, they're not going to take a full load of mixed rations, so there's going to be some left over, obviously, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Let's see. You know what I could do? I could, as dumb as this sounds, take those off. Whoops, once they're actually on the ground, that is. Take those off, watch them roll away. And we'll just start the process over again with a straw bale and a hay bale and a silage bale. Just one, thank you. See, it gives you just enough time, really, if you're careful, you know, to grab one bale and then back up and get away from the trigger zone of this thing. So it works out really well. I know this is definitely one of my more favorite, there we go. one of my more favorite bale fork mods, I think, so, because it works really good. It's cool that they changed it, you know, to not pick up, or not to automatically pick up silage bales, because obviously you wouldn't want to pick up silage bales with a fork, you know, unless you're going to put them in a mixed wagon, because then it doesn't matter, you're going to have to unwrap them anyway. But I did go around earlier and give water to everything. The sheep need water as well, but I'll get that up to them at some point. So really my main concern today is getting these animals all fed, getting them mucked out, getting this grain sold. This may be a fairly long episode. It's been kind of a theme lately. Been quite a few long episodes lately, you know, in Farm Sim. But you know what? You go through cycles, I think, and this is probably one of my cycles where I'm really enjoying playing Farm Sim. You know, not that I don't ever enjoy it, but I'm really enjoying it now. So, health and safety, BP. Don't leave the boom up while you're driving. You know better than that. Grab a silage bale here. The pig and the beef don't need any straw just yet, so they're okay. That's one thing about this particular HUD. I know this bale is not supported. It doesn't support the pig and the beef, you know, because it's not made for that. It's made really for that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a line in there that says grass flour. It's made for that seed mod that I have that I am going to install as soon as I can afford to buy it. Where you know you put in grain, it turns in, and pesticide turns it into seed. One of the byproducts is like a meal that you can feed your animals. So basically, it's just the bran and the you know the germ and everything off the seed. So, and there's a feeder that comes with it too that I'll have to place. But that'll be another winter project. So okay. Now, if I can stop crashing into the water trough, which obviously I can't do. Go back, grab these grass bales. Also enable automatic loading again. Boom, boom, very good. Pick them up a little bit so they're not sunk into the ground. Shut that off, jump out of that, jump back over to here. Jump in the cab, and obviously, like I said, the pig and the beef are not going to take all of this, so we'll just put the rest in the other feeder for the cows, for the dairy cows. Looks like we're going to get some sort of precipitation today. They're saying it might be a little sleet kind of hail thing, because the temperature's been bouncing up and down. You know, the weather system all around the world has been a little crazy lately, so you know, and here's no different, but. So I would very much like to get what I should probably do, because I don't know what time that's actually going to start. You know, you always get sort of at a roundabout time, but you never get an exact time. So probably what I'll do is I'll finish feeding these animals, and then we'll go sell that grain, because I certainly don't want to be loading grain in the, you know, in any kind of moisture. So now, if I was smart, I would go this way. I think it might be time to get the case in and have the hydraulic system and the brakes and everything looked at. So it's getting a little, the brakes are getting a little faded, it feels like. Another reason why I wanted to start, you know, pretty early, because obviously, you know, on the way home, I was listening to the weather, on the way home from court, I was listening to the weather, and then I watched the weather last night before I went to bed, and then again this morning when I got up, when I was having breakfast. So you know, obviously being a farmer, weather is, you know, everything. Weather is very important. So I just have to decide how I want to load that grain. Do I want to bring the conveyor down and do it that way? I think I'm going to do it that way, as opposed to using the telehandler, just because it'll be a little quicker, and I might be racing this hail, sleet, whatever it's going to be. So do not want to get stuck out with a whole bunch of grain, you know, out in the open when there's moisture going to be coming out of the sky. All the wheat and the barley will be going to Cobb. I don't know where the potatoes are going yet. You know, I'm going to call around and see where I can get the best price for that. Yeah, as you can see, it takes hardly anything. We're up to 100 cows now. the dairy is growing and growing and growing and growing, which is very good because I need it to. I absolutely need the dairy to keep growing. So, again, with milk prices being what they are, it gets to a point where you're spending so much money and you're not making it back. But dairy farming is such an integral part of the area that I don't ever want to not do it. So, I'll be that British dairy farmer until I absolutely cannot feed the cows and I have to sell them off to somebody who can, I guess. I have to decide whether I'm going to refill that breeding. Whoops, I need to go this way. Whether I'm going to refill that breeding pen or whether I'm just going to take it down, I don't know yet. I may refill it. Why not? Now, hopefully, with the size of the herd, growing like this, I may have to look at some alternate storage for my manure too. I hope, anyway. I know Mike generates so much manure that he always has a sort of an auxiliary or secondary storage point for it. So I would very much like to have that too. That would be cool. I know there's quite a bit of slurry over here too. That I don't really need right at the moment. So, but it'll be nice to have when I do. Quite a bit of muck in here, obviously. That's going to need to be taken care of. But like I said, I think because of this, precipitation. Yeah, try to say that with my tongue. Whatever the precipitation is that comes out of the sky, I'd rather it not get on my grain when I'm transporting it. So, I mean, obviously my tipper has a cover on it and everything, but I'd like to be able to use my truck, and haul it all off at once, but can't really do that legally, so I'm not going to. Alright, that's those guys all fed now. And there's a lot of animals in here that need to go off to slaughter too. But that's kind of going to be one of the last things I do, I think, after everything else is sold. You see, we're down to $14,000. Obviously now we're sort of in the spending money and not really making any phase of the farm. So it's just kind of how it is. There's still a lot of revenue potential. The trees are just about done. They're going to need to be picked pretty soon. The animals are going to need to be sold. The Milk Max machines are humming along, so. Gonna watch this bridge up here. Do not want to get pinched. I haven't seen any speed cameras. I guess they've been busy on Mike's end of the valley. He's a little bit of a lead foot, so maybe they figured they'd make more money if they put him up there. I haven't seen any down here yet. You never know, though. Eventually they may show up. The Crawford Browns have been just eerily quiet lately. I mean, I know they're still embroiled in their whole, divorce and, all that drama, but they have just been, it has been silent around here. And again, because we're getting in towards the end of harvest now, it's late harvest time around here. Everybody's still busy. Everybody's, so there's not a lot of time for tongue wagging and stuff. You see guys in the pub and it's, come in, have a drink, have a meal, go, a lot of guys are falling asleep. They got these two great big leather chairs that are, they got to be 100 years old apiece. That sit in front of their massive fireplace. They got a giant fireplace at the pub, and they very often cook stuff in that fireplace. You know what I mean? But it's the place to sit, especially when you've been on the you've been out in the fields all day and you're tired, and you have one of their big old meals, and then next thing you know you're drinking a whiskey or whatever, and the next thing you know you're sound asleep. I've fallen asleep in front of that fire. I can't tell you how many times. I know Mike has. I know me and Mike have been in the middle of a conversation and just fallen completely asleep. So, all right, that's done. Now, I think what we should do is we should go up and, I should park this up first. And then we will go up and start loading this grain, which means I'm going to have to, I'll park this up and grab the conveyor because I'm going to need that. I think that'll just be quicker. I guess if I wasn't worried about this hail, sleet, whatever it turns out to be. The lag, though. Again, I'm going to have lag. The sun's coming up. There's clouds in the sky. There's scripts running. There's all kinds of stuff on the farm now. So, a little spotty lag here and there. I can sort of live with it, I guess. Milk Max machines are running fine over there, so I need to find a place to put those. I may have to put up another shed. As much as I don't really want to do that, I may have to. I may just build one myself. I don't need to get a steel building up for those, I don't believe. I'm sure I have enough wood laying around that I could, put together a shed to store those things in. My favorite thing in the world, backing this thing up. Especially when I didn't park the milk trailer very straight. Good job, BP, good job. That's all right, I think I'll be able to get it in here. And we'll grab the conveyor and we'll go down to the main farm. The Colossus is down there. I cleaned everything, cleaned all the equipment, because it was getting kind of gross, and I like to keep it clean. Obviously, I wanted to clean the potato. Whoops. I keep forgetting everything's over here now. I wanted to clean the potato harvester, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the little sort of bonus vignette potato harvest thing. It didn't really come out the way I wanted it to, but it was really the best I could do. I was getting so much lag, again, as I've said over and over and over again, between all the scripts in that thing and all the animation and everything else, and course play running and all that stuff, there was bound to be some lag. So I sort of chopped it up as best I could, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the Court Farm series as well. Still a lot of grass down there to be mowed. We'll be down doing that for a few days yet. And then all the raking and all the baling, so. And then all the bale, the bale shifting, so that the farmer who bought all the bales can come down and pick them up. Wow, I don't know what's causing all this lag. I'm trying to remember what the last thing I added to this was. Could it? Well, you know what it is. It's this alfalfa. That's what it is. And the funny thing is that this alfalfa right here is the low-res alfalfa. I switched to that specifically because the original alfalfa that came with the map was causing me all kinds of lag. I did change the texture, the corn texture as well. That's a Gene Borg texture as well, just because I really like his textures. So I may be pushing the abacus a little too hard with a lot of these textures lately. But you know what? The farm looks amazing, so I guess I can't really complain too much. I'm having a real thought about chaffing all this alfalfa too. Only thing is, if I chaff it all, that's going to make a lot of silage. Way more than I really probably going to need. That entrance is a little narrow. I think I'll go down this one. Now, unfortunately, whatever this, this rain or whatever it is. Not rain, but sleet, hail, combination sort of precipitation is going to be, it's not going to help the drought problem. That sort of stuff doesn't help the moisture, you know what I mean? So, no, we'll go down. I don't want to go in the house entrance, that's for sure. Not with this thing. I suppose I could, I don't know. If I silaged one of these alfalfa fields, probably makes sense to do field 1 over there, and then just use the rest as sort of green manure. That may be the way to go, and then all the corn, and then I'd have plenty of silage, I think. Yeah, I guess maybe we could do that. That might be the way to go. Okay, let's take the wheat first. Let's start with that. So that's going to require me getting this thing unfolded. Once I stop. I don't need this at the moment, so I'm going to turn that off. Oh, I need to go grab my tipper, though. I don't want to use the Dezor for grain. We will extend this. I don't think I'm going to be able to extend it all the way up. I hope I can extend it up far enough to get under the tip, to get the tipper underneath it. That should be okay. Now we just need to switch ends of this thing. And then hopefully be able to back it into that to that shed. It may not work. This may have been just an exercise in futility over here. I may end up having to use the the telehandler, or at the very least a bucket loader. Probably the telehandler, just because the bucket capacity is bigger. But we will see if this is going to be a thing or not. This thing is a huge pain in the ass to back up. Wasn't really ever meant to be, maneuvered around on those little tiny dolly wheels in the back. So you can see they just kind of do what they want. They go where they want. And, You have to forgive me while I get quiet. I'm trying to concentrate. Amazing how much you have to concentrate on something like this. It doesn't look that difficult, but believe it or not, it really is. If you guys have ever tried to back this thing up, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, that's not going to fit. It will fit. No, it won't. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. If we leave it right there, it's a little clippy, and I turn it on. Is it not in the... Can I lower this any? Probably not enough to be able to get a tipper in it. This may be a fail, guys. Oh, there we go. Now the question is, can I get a tipper underneath it? I guess we're going to find out, huh? There's a beautiful sunrise here at Old Ridge. You just cannot argue with that sunrise whatsoever. Don't need that. Go grab a tipper, see if we can get a tipper underneath it. And we'll start making our trips down to DeKalb to sell this stuff. Geez, VP, in a big hurry? Grab my Stewart trailer. Stu, that's for you. Stooby-dooby-doo. Oh, even though it doesn't have a Scottish flag on it anymore, because I just couldn't handle the controversy. Oh, the controversy, you guys. Oh. Are you going to have a Scottish flag when you're in the UK? How are you not going to have a Scottish flag when it's called Stewart? I get it. I get it. You guys are scaring me. I'm just kidding. Today's been a pretty good day for BP, as you can tell. I've recorded a ton of stuff today. So it's going to be a good week, for the rest of the week and into the weekend. You guys should have plenty of stuff to watch, so. Okay, now what would be ideal? This tipper's pretty low, so shouldn't have any real issue with getting in there. Of course, it isn't in the most ideal spot either to get in and out of, but that's okay. No. Just push the tractor out of the way, BP. That's okay. That tractor didn't cost, $105,000, right? All right, here we go. Loading up with grain. Just don't mind the clip of the conveyor clipping through the building. We don't see that, right? And full. Might as well roll the tarp up, I guess. Make sure we turn the beacons on and jump in and hopefully not crash into this tree. Can we make the turn? Yes, I think we can. Without catching the gates? Yeah. We should be okay. And off to DeKalb we go. Ah, 28 minutes already. Wow. Well, that's just, I guess it's just all part of the deal, right? It's part of, farming takes time. So hence why I have, well over 1,000 hours in this game. About 122 hours on the map since the rebuild of the map, and easily that much before, closing up on 100 episodes. Kind of been thinking about what I want to do for the 100th episode. Why am I going this way? Why am I going this way? I wanted to go the other way. Yeah, I kind of been thinking about what I want to do for the 100th episode. I think what I might do is, I have a couple ideas. One, I'm not sure if it could happen or not. But one of the ideas that I was thinking about was doing sort of a look back on Old Ridge in a a perspective, and what makes me like this map so much, and why is it so much fun and everything. All stuff that I've talked about during the course of this series, obviously. Because February, I think it's the 7th, somewhere around there, will be an actual real life year that I have been on this map. One full solid year since this map was released, and I started a Let's Play on it. And I've never done a Let's Play this long. This is triple the length of any Let's Play I've ever done before. But it's just so much fun. I just don't want to stop playing on it. So I do want to start doing another Let's Play. I don't know what the actual map is going to be yet. You guys have given me a lot of great suggestions, but now I never remember where this tip point is for this stuff. I want to say it's back here, perhaps. Oh, right there. Very good. Might as well get that unrolling. Time to make some money. Now, I want to use the grain door on this just because it's cool. So, let's see. Oh, we're not quite on the tip point yet. There it is. I need this for a moment. Left shift and Q. Grain door. There we go. And then we can just dump that up. And if you watch closely here, once this gets up to a certain level, the grain door is going to open, and off you go. Isn't that neat? That's one cool thing about this tipper and about the choose tip side mod. You get to have the option to use the grain door if it's animated and all that. So that's really cool. Takes a little longer to dump, obviously, but I still think it's neat. So money, 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 money. Well, we definitely needed it. I'll probably, subsequent loads, I'll just dump out the back door. I just wanted to show you the grain door because I thought it was cool. I'm sure most of you guys already have this tipper and you've already seen it all in action and everything. But I just think that's kind of a neat thing. So there we go. $15,000 for that load. Now, obviously, subsequent loads will probably be worth less, but okay. Slow down in the compound. You don't want to get in trouble. Back over the scale. I think I might have been a little over-ambitious this year with the amount of money that I spent before I knew how much money I was actually going to have. Certainly not the first time I've done that. I'm notorious for spending money that I don't really have. But okay, I knew I wasn't going to make as much this year as I probably would, on a normal year, just because of the drought, because of the yields and everything weren't going to be awesome. Hopefully, I can make enough to, obviously whatever I make, whatever the yield is, whatever the total tonnage is going to determine what I've got to pay back to the bank. And then they're of course going to leave me some working capital. If I can't afford to buy a field this year, that's going to stink. But, okay, I guess I'll have to live with it. So. I should probably refill my chicken feed storage too before I forget, because I always tend to forget. I won't have any wheat to feed my chickens and they'll all starve to death. That would be bad. I'm not laughing about that, certainly, but Another 23 and a third tons there. Roll that back over again. Got to back up a little bit this time. Got a little close to that tree. And swing around and back down to the cop we go. Maybe we'll go the quicker way this time. Quicker, I don't know. You know. Ugh. The cab suspension in this thing is great, but every so often it'll bottom out, you know, because you'll hit a big hit. It'll take a big hit and you'll just, and you'll feel it right up your spine. Kind of takes your breath away. So I'm thinking what we'll do in this episode is we'll sell the grain, at the very least the wheat. In the next episode, we'll sell whatever's left, and then we'll muck out the animals, and then we'll probably spray all the corn if it needs to be sprayed with anything. And then that will be that. And then the only thing really left will be to chop all this stuff, you know, and then I'll make a final decision on whether I'm going to chop my own alfalfa, whether I'm going to go up to Ian's chunk of land that he has that has alfalfa on it and chop that. I'm not really sure yet. Probably make just as much sense to chop my own, I guess. I could probably live with one field, you know, not being turned over for green manure. Probably won't be plowing anyway, you know. Just by the looks of the long-term forecast, it doesn't look like we're going to get a ton of rain over the winter. So I'm not sure I'm supposed to come in this way, but I'm going to anyway. I don't think it really matters as long as you go in one way and come out the other. Since I'm the only person here at the moment, it is awfully early in the morning, so. Okay, now, let's see. First thing we gotta do is unroll that. Get back over the tip point again, wherever it is. There it is. Open this up and then switch to back. Yep, that's what I want. There we go. And that'll be much quicker, so. Obviously. No reason not to. This is a big grate, you know. It doesn't need the rain door. I just wanted to do it because it was cool, so. There we go. Very nice. Another $15,000. Not too shabby. Looks like I may have to pay the bank back somewhere in the vicinity of, I don't know, probably $35,000, somewhere around there. So I guess we'll go out by the milk facility here. Why not? I mean, I could have set up Courseplay up to do this while I was, you know, mucking out or whatever, but you know what? Sometimes I tend to depend on Courseplay too much, and then you have a debacle like the potato fiasco. To be honest, now, I say debacle, but to be honest, you guys will have seen the sort of bonus, you know, potato harvest video by the time you see this, but it wasn't awful. You know, Courseplay did a pretty good job of it. So it's just the fields, you know, there's just trees, and that's a big, you know, lumbering piece of equipment that doesn't turn great. So it's not, you know, it's certainly not Courseplay's fault. You know, it's just the way the fields are laid out and the, you know, the obstacles that are on the fields and everything else. So I'll tell you one thing, I'm almost tempted to silage all this alfalfa just to get rid of the lag. I do this every year, right? I plant alfalfa and then I complain that it lags. Well, stop planting it then. Jeez. All right. Probably at least one more trip, I would think. I don't remember how much wheat we actually ended up with, but it was quite a bit, I believe. Nope, nope, nope. Stop hitting that tractor. Jeez. Tractor's pretty expensive, and you keep moving this thing, you're gonna have to start backing up, which is what I'm gonna have to do now. So, oh well. And another load. Gonna have to back up this time. Nope, back up. Thank you. So I was talking about maybe picking up that silo space, that Joskin silo space tipper. It's pretty old. It's got a lot of hours on it, a lot of miles on it, you know. But it's got some fairly new tires on it. And Thomas Dean, the caretaker of that, of Court Farm there, has said that the bearings in it were replaced not too long ago. You know, the hydraulics all work, and you know, it's in good shape. It's just seen a lot of use, you know. So I don't know. That's something I'm thinking about. If, you know, when the auction comes up, I may go down there and take a look at it and see what it's going for. You know, again, there I go, you know, spending money I don't have, right? You know, when the bank's going to want its money. One reason I absolutely have to pay those sort of ancillary payments, you know, those end of the season payments, is that if I go back to the bank at some point during the season and say, well, I need X amount of money, if I hadn't made those payments, they're going to be like, well, okay, you know, you're borrowing all this money, but you're not really paying any of it back. So at least if I pay a big chunk like that, you know, it shows that I'm paying the loans back. So they're more willing to lend me money. Because as I've said, you know, in numerous videos, you're always in debt as a farmer, always. Unless you're very, very successful, you know, or very, very old. You're not you personally, but the farm is very, very old. You are always going to be in debt. So, and since I basically started here with nothing, you know, I knew I was going to be in debt pretty much the entire time I owned this farm. So, and if I want to make the farm as prosperous and as successful as possible, you know, that's going to require some debt. There's really not much I can do about that. So. $61,000, not too shabby, not too shabby at all. I think if I was smart, I would fill up my chicken feeder storage thing there, my little storage box, and then take the rest down and sell it. Because if I fill that thing up, there'll be more than enough wheat in there to feed those chickens for a very long time. So. Again, I apologize for the pause there. I've been recording so much today that I tend to run out of stuff to say. Imagine that. Bipolar prophet, running out of stuff to say. Yeah, it actually happens. I'm like, what do I talk about? I don't know. Just ramble on. You'll find something. And then I go quiet again. And of course, too, my tongue is still not 100% yet, as you can probably tell by the lisp. It's getting better. It's a lot easier to talk now. It hurts a lot less, you know, so that's a good thing. But it's still a little troublesome, so. Okay, so what I think I'll do is, I think I will just park this right here for the moment. Disconnect from that. We'll run up here and grab our chicken feeder storage thing here. Get that filled up, just so I don't forget about these poor chickens and run out of food and all that. So you can see all the potatoes over there. Those got to be sold too. That'll be coming up in an episode at some point, I'm sure. Really want to get the grain done. I'm not so much worried about the potatoes getting wet because they're all going to get cleaned anyway. Not that the grain doesn't get cleaned, but the moisture, you know, you bring wet grain to Cobb, and they're going to definitely dock you the price of, you know, of all that moisture. So don't want to do that. It's got 1,500 liters in it. You know what? That'll probably last these chickens a year. But we'll top it off anyway. Why not? Oh, God, yeah. That's going to be enough to last these chickens for the rest of their natural lives. Might as well, while I got this on, might as well go over here and top this off, too. It probably doesn't even need it. I could always buy more chickens, I guess, but you know what? The amount I have is pretty good. Yeah. There you go. Didn't take hardly any. Very good. And we will take the rest of the wheat down to the cob, get that sold off, and then in the next episode we'll be selling the barley and mucking out animals, and probably taking a look at the corn to see what that's going to need, as far as nutrients or anything goes. I did have a quick look over at Field 11 South there while I was feeding the animals and everything. Everything looked pretty good, so at least that field looked decent, so should be okay. That freeze I was worried about never materialized, so that was a good thing. It stayed above freezing, frost is a killer, but luckily, it's a little hard to predict, exactly how cold it's going to be. And corn is fairly cold resistant, especially the sort of species of corn that I'm using. It's a really hard corn, really made for silage, so it's a little more resistant to things like cold and stuff like that. So a little more expensive, but that's what you're paying for. So all right, let's get the last of this now. I don't think there's going to be another full load in here. No. I think that's going to be about it, maybe? No? Yep, there it is. That's it. I just want to make sure I have it all. 10,665. Let me just check on the PDA here and make sure I have it all. Yep, I have it all. We got 42, almost 43 tons of barley and 107 tons of potatoes. I think I told Ian that I had 88 tons. It's 107. Well, if you still want 65 tons, Ian, I'll give you a good price. I'll give you a good price on them. If you want more, then that's fine too. No. Roll this up once again. I just think that's a neat feature. No. Whoa, mouse. Why are you going crazy? Ever since that Windows update, that second Windows update, just the HDMI drivers have just not. I don't know what it is. Again, I'm using a Walmart mouse, and I'm using my Logitech software is 10 years old because they can't be arsed to update it. But again, you sort of expect this stuff to work. You kind of put that onus on Windows and say, well, okay, if these guys aren't going to update, then you need to make this work. I'm not going to go out and spend $200 on a mouse. I don't need a full-on gaming mouse. Would it be nice? Sure, but I need other stuff first. So I need a full-on gaming computer before I need a full-on gaming mouse. You know what I'll do? I'll take the thumbnail of this thing tipping. That'll be neat. Maybe we'll tip it out the grain door for the last bit, and we'll take a thumbnail of that. That'll be a neat thumbnail. Watch that intersection. Sometimes you never know. Some kid on a motorcycle comes flying out of there every so often. So, and it's not Mike. It's some other kid on a motorcycle. Almost killed him one day. I was coming down here with a load of muck, and he come. I want to go this way. He come flying out of there without even looking, and it's a good thing I could stop. Otherwise, he'd have been part of my tractor, and that would not have been pretty. So. If you live in a farm area, please make sure you're looking all the time, And if you're driving a tractor, make sure you're looking too. Definitely don't want to hurt anybody. All right, let's get this back over the tip point real quick here. There we go. Shift Q and Alt H. So many things I have to do. And Q. And get ready to take the screenshot. What's going to be the best screenshot? Oh, right there. That's a good one. Screenshot. There we go. So there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, now we're into that cycle. It's getting to be winter now. We're late autumn, I should say. Well, medium autumn, I guess, would probably be more accurate. I'm just going to bring this back up so I can see how much money we're going to make. So it's going to be a lot of this now. It's going to be a lot of animal stuff. It's going to be a lot of, mucking out and things like that. I think I'm going to go about 12 days of winter. I'm going to simulate 12 days of winter, I think. And then it'll be spring, and then we'll start with the groundwork and all of that sort of stuff. As always, let me know what you think. As long as you guys keep enjoying this series, I will keep recording it. I will always probably play on it. I still play on Bjornholm, believe it or not. At least a couple times a week I jump on Bjornholm and do something on it. That map has been around obviously since the beginning of Farming Simulator 15. So, but like I said, as long as you guys are enjoying this, I'm going to keep recording it. I'm going to try to tie some other stuff into it with Court Farm, and maybe we'll do some contracting somewhere else. Because like I said in Court Farm, I just the Court Farm series, I just straight up stole that from David Oldfield, and thank you, David, for that. I really appreciate it. But it's just because of all the interaction, all the role play that with everybody now. There's so many people involved in Old Ridge that I'd hate to stop it. And I really, really enjoy it, and I'm glad you guys are too. As always, thank you so much for all the tips, the comments, the suggestions. Thanks for all the help with the potato harvester. Thanks for the person who told me how I should back up to get into the potato shed, and you're absolutely right, and that's a good idea. And I don't know why I don't think of this stuff myself, but that's why I have you guys, and thank you so much. And as always, thank you for making me a part of your YouTube day, and this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.